episode of True Masculinity Podcast coming live from the Rockies, Colorado Rockies, man. We got a good old show today. Talked about the pundit. I don't even know what you would call him. I guess we would call himself a social activist, a content creator. Touré had a peculiar opinion about white people, white tea people, what do you want to call it, being able to use call the black ICE agent the N word. So, like I said, stay tuned, man. Rock with us. Tune on in, man. We're gonna have a good little conversation about this and the elements of the use of the N word under these peculiar circumstances, which was. Well, we're gonna let you watch the video. So. Even though we getting shadow banned, we still out here doing the damn thing. We don't care. We do not care about being shadow banned, man. That's what it is. Can't stop the movement, even if you're trying to shadow ban us, man. Somebody gonna tune in to TNP. Somebody gonna show love, man. It is what it is. If you're not feeling this movement, it's definitely your prerogative, man. But let's get to it.
Person to call a black person 99.9% of the time, it is wrong for a white person to call a black person the N-word. But we may have found the exception. In Minneapolis recently, a white anti-ICE protester was in a group of anti-ICE protesters.
We gotta start this conversation off by saying Touré is a Caribbean tether, man. This is not something that I was introduced to or I knew previously because I'm not well versed in who this Touré guy really is. I know he had, you watch some of the old documentaries. I think he had some affiliation with doing news or interviews with Tupac and on the hip hop industry. He had some connections in that realm, but I do not personally know too much about him. The way in which he conducts himself, you would have thought he was an FBA Black American, but to find out he has Caribbean roots, so a lot of this stuff kind of makes all the sense in the world, knowing this to be true.
Yelling at a black ICE Gestapo agent. An unidentified white male called the black ICE agent a...
Referring to the ICE agent as a Gestapo, it's already a volatile word choicing to be using. A Gestapo was the name or the term used for the Nazi German regime that would go and displace Jewish people, black people, gypsy people that had a hue that was not Caucasian, basically, or a racial ethnic group that was not white and Caucasian and blonde-haired, blue-eyed, primarily the Jewish people of Nazi Germany in the, I believe it was the 30s and 40s, I believe. They could have been the 20s. You gotta quote me. Late 20s, 30s, 40s, somewhere in there. It was yeah, like the Nazi regime. So he's referring to the ICE agents in America in common day 2026 as Gestapos. So you got to watch terms like that people use. Secondly, he has a dog in the race. He comes from the immigrant background. So his views are primarily going to be biased due to the fact that that is his origin story within America. So even though it is a black agent, we don't know the agent's background, but the term of nigger was used, or house nigga, what is a term directed toward the FBA community of black people. Historically, it's a derogatory term aimed at the black community that has a FBA background. So and I will say there is 100% no reason for that to be a white T person to direct that type of verbiage at a black person, in my opinion. Yeah, it really no reason, especially out of anger like that. The only reason I would say is if you're being disrespectful toward them, calling them racial epithets. Then I feel like equal rights, equal lefts to me. Do not call no one else cracker, honky, peckerwood, any disrespectful term of disrespect toward these people, and then you won't get none back. I do feel like equal rights, equal lefts. If you're gonna call a white T person a disrespectful racial name, cave dweller, whatever, I don't care. Then you deserve to be called that back. That's just me. Equal rights, equal lefts. But under this circumstance, to be called a house N-word by that guy, that was like very disrespectful. Very disrespectful to me. Like, I don't think just because he asked that guy that reporter, was it a man, and I think it was a trans, whatever, I don't feel like that deserved to be disrespected like that or to be called a house N-word. No. So hit that like button.
A house N-word who's working for the KKK. That's right, we have a white man calling a black man the N-word. But this is a little bit different. White on black usage of the N-word is a very serious issue. But this is a curveball example. Is it wrong for a white person to call a black ICE officer a house N-word? Let's explore. The white man who used the N-word in this situation was being historically precise. This black ICE agent, he is being a house N-word to the utmost.
Do you know how disrespectful it is to conflate being a working man of America to be? I don't care if you're working for the government. I don't care if you're working for anything. I don't care. Like, the money you make is going toward the economy. The taxes you pay is going toward the economy of America. So no matter what, and I understand the correlation because he works for the federal government, but it does not matter the context. If that's the case, then it's a lot of people that could be called that in a lot of realms. If you just got a job in America and you're paying taxes, you could be called a house N-word. I don't feel like that is right, personally. I feel like Touré has a huge disconnect with what's going on in these streets today. And I feel like he's all the way wrong, in my opinion. Like, just because he works for the federal government, at the end of the day, a check is a check to a person, and that is just the reality. Like, he would not work for the federal government doing his ICE for free. I can guarantee you that. So the main thing that people do these things for is, for one, compensation, and for two, the benefits of doing said occupation. So I feel like Touré is a race-baiting idiot, a tether, and somebody who is, in my opinion, he just disrespected the black community, FBA community of America. This dude seems like a weirdo Fruity Loop, and I feel like I do not respect anything that comes from his uneducated mind. Like, that was just ignorant to the highest extent. I am not going to say uneducated, but I don't care what he says from his ignorant, biased, tethered mind. Because he could be educated, he could be well educated. I don't really know Touré. He's never, in my opinion, I've never heard anything, well educated that he's ever, conveyed or in anything. And like, he just comes as a real kind of, historically, he came out like a stoic interviewer. He worked, I think he worked for MTV or one of these little platforms back in the day, lighter skin, tether, not really all that non-threatening, soft-spoken dweeb, So he's the perfect candidate to be one of these right down the middle type guys who acts real flamboyant and says a lot of things that he kind of disrespects the black community, but he's supposed to get a pass. He's a light skinned tether that's non-threatening. Like, no, when you say ish like this, you don't even understand the ramifications and the implications that you're making by making dumb, illogical, ignorant statements like this out loud. Like, it's dumb. Like, so if I'm a cop, you can call me a house nigga, and I'm enforcing the laws of this nation. I'm a house nigga. If I'm a teacher and I choose to whatever, like do my job or whatever, and then now I'm a house nigga working for, like, come on, bro. Like, to even conflate that to call a ICE agent a Gestapo is ridiculous, dude. It is ridiculous, and it's really disrespectful toward the people that survived the Holocaust and were victims, unfortunately, and did not survive the Holocaust and had to go through that. Like, that is disrespectful to their plight. You know what I'm saying? It's very disrespectful. It's disrespectful to an FBA person that just wants to get a job and wants to serve and work for his government. That maybe in his mind he's doing everything right to protect the borders of this nation and the safety of the occupants of this nation, the citizens of this nation. He made, and in my opinion, he is doing a righteous cause. These ICE agents, these border patrol agents, they have a righteous cause, and they're doing the they're really doing God's work, just like a police officer is. Just like if Touré was to get into some type of fray, he would call 911 and expect a cop to come there and uphold the law and serve and protect. So it's the same mindset. Same mindset. If you have a problem with ICE, then don't ever call law enforcement. Don't ever need the EMS. Like, I feel like that's the same type deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the same. It's the same governing system that protects us as citizens in this country. Like, in it's a right. Like, as a citizen, you can't tell us that you don't speak for us. Like, you can't tell us that we can't be proponents of the ICE system and all in immigration. You can't tell us that. Like, that's a choice that we make. You don't get to use the political train, the Super Bowl, the Bad Bunny cabal of the Democrat plantation and the liberal plantation to try to control our minds. Like, we can be free thinking people and agree to disagree. Does maybe ICE need to be, looked over? I guess the captivity of the children and things of that nature? Maybe, yeah, more transparent, maybe. But do we need to do away with the whole system completely? Hell no. Hell no.
Degree. A black man in ICE is a modern house slave. He's a barely paid mule for white supremacy. The KKK.
And isn't that just like a statement that a bourgeoisie, privileged, entitled Negro would say? He's in a way demeaning, because these guys, this is their livelihood. Let's be honest. These ICE agents, and they're making actually a decent. When you talk about cost of living and wages in America, these guys are making six figures plus. Right at it in a lot of places, depending on where you're at. But when I've seen them marketed these jobs, they start at $89,000 and go over to over 100. So now you're demeaning a way in which a man has his livelihood. You're basically saying he's a meagerly paid slave. Is what you're trying to say. Do you not even know? But of course he does. How disrespectful that is for the common working man of America, to try to call him an underpaid house nigga. Like, so that's just like I said, that's a statement that has to be made by a bourgeoisie, disconnected from reality house Negro, bro. 1% celebrity house nigga. That really is all the way off base.
Were domestic terrorists. ICE is domestic terrorism. I think this is a valid usage of the N-word. He's not attacking his blackness per se. He's attacking his bootlicking choice to be in ICE while being a black man. Being black.
Let me ask this, though. Validating a white T person, this is how you know he's not a part of our community. So validating a white T person's use of the N-word when he's really done nothing but hold a job in an occupation to provide for his life. Saying, like, validating the use of that N-word in that circumstance, that's not bootlicking. That's why we say we have to watch and we really keep an eye out on who we allow in the culture, you know, and who's really out here putting out messaging in the culture, man. For real, for real. I'm just being honest.
In ICE makes you a house N-word. So to call you that, it's almost like a professor pointing out, oh, look, there's a modern house N-word. I think this usage is valid and acceptable. If it had just been the N-word, that would be problematic. But when he adds the house N-word, he's being historically realistic. So yes, it is okay to call black ICE agents house N-words. They are. This string of comments is a
That is wild. That is wild. See,
99 point.
he definitely don't have a what's the name for a reason though, the comment section, because I know he would be.
This string of comments is a microcosm of the debate around Chappelle. Chappelle isn't doing comedy these days. It's something else. I'm not sure what it is, but it's obviously not comedy. It's American storytelling and satire.
Let me stick to the subject, but man, yeah, Touré. He went a little left with me to it, you know, in my opinion. He went a little left. You know, he ain't gonna I no way validate that type of thinking at all. I think that is more of the house Negro, that type of thinking. I think that is the butt broken tether way of thinking. I think that is the non-FBA way of thinking. I don't feel like working a job for the U.S. government makes you a house Negro. I don't think working a job, period, makes you a house Negro. Like, I think that's a respectable way in which to conduct yourself in this nation is to have a job, a well-paying job, a noble job, a job that actually helps the safety of the others and protects the safety of others in this nation. And I think that's, you know, that's something that should not be taken lightly. I feel like that guy was out of line for calling him that. I feel like he only really said that due to the fact that he called out and asked that guy, was he a man? The reporter dude. Yeah, I think that was not a circumstance where he should have called him that. Why? Because because he doesn't agree with you in his occupation, disagrees with you politically. That makes him a house Negro. I don't feel like you make that distinction. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that is a term used, like I said, historically. You know, like that. I don't feel like you're the one who can make that distinction personally. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I look at it. Like who are you to say that? You know what I'm saying? Like just because he disagrees with you politically, that's the problem that we already have with the Democrat political party as well. Like nobody really f's with the liberal man because they're really the worst type of racist, like Joe Biden. Honestly, that's really the worst type of person that it can be. We like forthright people as black people, and as just conservative people, we like people that tell it like it is. So, you know, the people who only rock with you if you affiliate with them politically are not really your allies in the first place. So that's really what you have to understand. That turn on you, call you all these type of racial epithets and disrespectful words and things of that nature. Nah, they're not rocking with you at all, man. But man, I appreciate y'all tapping in with me this morning, man. TNP, man, hit the like button, subscribe.